Welcome back, you guys, to Vlogmas day number 7. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, back for another Vlogmas video. And today, being a Food Hack Friday, I am super excited to tackle this one today because Fridays were always a big tradition in my house growing up. Especially in an Italian home, the most important days were Friday and Sunday. On Fridays, it was always a pizza day, and Sunday, there was always a pot of sauce on the stove. So today, I kind of wanted to encompass both of them because I had a Madison Pippins here in my home, so I thought it would be really awesome to kind of share some of my Italian favorites with her. She had never had my sauce before, and so when I was looking through this book, I kind of found something that I thought would go perfect. Now, I was looking for something a little bit more Christmassy, but if you guys didn't see my last new food hack series, we found a new book at the Dollar Tree, and that was dessert and booze hacks. So that is coming up in just a week or two. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to show that. I have to check my schedule, but it is coming up just very soon. And I have lots of Christmassy things like a Christmas peppermint float that is alcoholic and non-alcoholic, and then a really easy thin mint, just because I feel like anything minty just screams Christmas to me. But being that I already had that on the schedule, and as I was looking through this book, nothing kind of jumped out at me Christmassy, but it definitely jumped out at me as far as a pizza Friday. So I feel like this is going to go exactly perfect with what encompasses a Friday to me, and I am super excited to share it with you guys. So I'm gonna take you guys down to the counter and I'll show you what we're making today for Food Hack Friday. Okay, you guys, here we are, and we are back for another day of amazing food hacks. So I'm not alone in the kitchen today. I even have my elf Franklin with me, and he is whisking up something delicious himself. But you, me, today, we're doing a meal hack. So today's meal hack is on page 44, and we are making Melty meatball rolls. So these look super delicious, and I picked these because I was making sauce and meatballs anyway. So it says these are the perfect sub for a meatball sub. Not only do they make a fast and easy dinner, but you could also serve them as hors d'oeuvres at a party or just a fun after school snack. So this reminds me of like a farm-rich appetizer or something, perfect for serving on a pizza Friday or on a football Sunday. So what you're going to need is a can of jumbo biscuits. They asked for like the smaller can, which would have 10, but I grabbed the jumbo can. You need 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. They also asked for thawed meatballs. They said 10 thawed already made meatballs cut in half. But again, being that I was making my own meatballs today, I just made a smaller version, baked them in the oven, and then cut them in half myself. So I cooked a full dozen, so I have 24 pieces here, so I'll have some extra. And then that is my sauce that I've had on the stove all day. Look, come with me, I'll show you on the stove. My big pot of meatballs and sausage meat sauce. So good. My house smells delicious. So it says a cup of store-bought already made pasta sauce, but I'm using my own today. And then in this bowl is our spices. So we have some grated Parmesan cheese, some garlic powder, some basil, some oregano, Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. So I also have a little bit of olive oil here and a basting brush, although that was not in the recipe as far as what we need, but I'll show you what we're going to use that for in just a minute. So now let's get started. So is it just me, or does popping open these cans always freak you out? I feel like when it pops, I want to hide and jump like it's some kind of drive-by or something. All right, so we're gonna take out all of our biscuits and you're gonna cut them in half. Now, the instructions actually tell you to leave them whole, but just peel them in half. But I felt like I didn't want to do that, although that probably would have given me more surface area to work. This definitely was a little bit tighter to form around the meatball piece. I also wanted a nice piece of dough, and I didn't want it to be too flat and thin. So basically all that it wants you to do is to flatten out a piece of this dough and put that shredded mozzarella down, a piece of the meatball, and then form the dough tightly around the meatball piece. Here's a couple pieces of advice that I have for you. You want that can of biscuits to be as cold as possible. Do not let it sit out for very long and try not to handle it for very long. You can see that my hands are getting sticky and it's sticking to the parchment paper. Now I did put parchment paper down just so it didn't stick to the pan later. I'd rather it stick to parchment paper than to the pan, but anything like this, especially cheesy, has a chance to stick to the pan. So I definitely feel like the colder the better so that it doesn't get too sticky where it's going to be hard to maneuver. My other suggestion would be maybe not using shredded mozzarella. I'm thinking maybe blocked pieces of mozzarella would have been better, especially since later I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside. And I was really looking for like that cheesy pull apart factor, but we'll talk about that in just a second. But I just think that using that cube of mozzarella as opposed to the shredded pieces would have been easier mess cleanup, and it would have been easier to maneuver. But I just continue to repeat the process of adding cheese and meatball in between all these dough pieces and rolling them up until I had little balls, and then I lined that all up on the cookie sheet, and then we're going to go on to the next step. All right, so I decided that I wanted to baste the top of these little meatball balls. So they just tell you to sprinkle that topping on top, but I definitely didn't feel like the dough would be sticky enough for that stuff to actually stick on top. So I just got a little bit of olive oil and that basting brush, and I gave each like garlic knot almost a really good basting. And I definitely found that that was a smart idea, and I can't imagine it working any other way had I not done that. Again, that was not the instructions, but I just kind of improvised. So now we're going to grab that bowl with all of our seasonings and we're going to give it a good mix, and then we're going to sprinkle a little bit on top of each one, and then once you know everyone has a little bit, you could just go back and add the rest. I even thought you could have taken it and kind of rolled whatever seasonings ended up on the bottom of the pan and kind of coated that yummy garlic Parmesan cheese on all sides. But then we're going to stick it in a 375-degree oven for 18 minutes, and that was the perfect amount of time. They came out crispy but soft and just so unbelievable, you guys. Like, sometimes this food hack takes these things that I never would have thought of, but they're super simple, to a whole nother level. So I definitely am super glad again that I've been scoring these books at the Dollar Tree for $1. I mean, look at that, you guys. The Parmesan cheese, the garlic, the basil, it all just stuck perfectly to it. Now I'm going to cut it in the middle and show you guys what it looks like on the inside. So you do have a meatball and there is cheese inside, but I do feel like maybe if there was a block of mozzarella in there and you pulled it apart, you would have got that really like hot stringy cheese feeling, and that's really what I was looking for, like that gooey cheese. So I had to take a bite like right here on camera just to test it out. If Madison wasn't here in my house and I didn't have a guest, I definitely would have double dipped, but my meat sauce coupled with my own meatballs inside of this was absolutely perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this food hack, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you guys are going to try this, make sure you come back and let me know how it was, because like I said, we completely enjoyed them. We devoured the whole thing. It was super delicious and perfect side dishes to our pasta and meatballs. So thank you guys again so much for watching another Vlogmas video, and we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Bye guys.